Alright guys, welcome to the channel. This is the GM. We're going to be going ahead and doing a Dallas Cowboys draft, a 7-round mock draft today. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, but here on the GM, we want to go ahead and cover all the teams in the future, but I'm going to go ahead and kickstart it with my favorite team in this 7-round mock draft. Alright, so in the beginning, we're going to go ahead and get it started. I only selected the Cowboys for this draft, so we are going to see what happens. And kind of predictably at first, it's going to be Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Penei Sewell, and Patrick Surtain II. Kind of a guy I would like for the Cowboys, but he's off the board at number 4. So our options at number 5 are, I think, our best option is going to be to trade down if you're wanting to build around Dak and get his deal done in the offseason. Get those more picks and surround him with every piece, mainly the defense at this point. And I think we get a lot of young talent and pick up the season in 2021, especially with the line being healthy again. Just a lot of things that went wrong for us this year. However, so in this case, I'm actually going to do 2 versions of the mock draft, this 7-round mock draft in this video. This first one is going to be based off of keeping Dak and trading down and kind of getting some more draft picks to go ahead and surround that. The second draft that I'm going to do is going to be based off taking a quarterback early and maybe moving Dak or moving Dak for sure at that point and getting some of those draft picks for moving Dak, and you can help fill in those rosters as well. It would be the same thing as trading down. So you're kind of doing the same thing. You're acquiring more draft picks either way, just kind of deciding which way you want to go or which one you like, and then kind of at the end, I'll give you my personal opinion on which one I would like to see the Cowboys do. But let's go ahead and get back to the draft. So for right now, there's going to be a couple of teams. The 49ers are one of them. The Chicago Bears are another team that would potentially trade up. I don't think the 49ers are entirely happy with Jimmy Garoppolo moving forward. If they can, I think they jump up here to get a quarterback, maybe before the Bears do, because they're looking for one as well. And then I kind of think that they maybe move from Jimmy Garoppolo, whether they can trade him or maybe get something back for it potentially. But I mean, there's not really too many people here that are going to be doing anything too crazy. I think the pieces are kind of going to fall where they may. The Washington football team now is going to be another team that is going to be interested for a quarterback this year. Potentially the Patriots. I don't think Cam Newton is going to be the long-term answer there. But I think I'm going to go ahead and trade the 49ers. Let's see what we can do here. So, as I would expect, maybe get a second round. And let's try to do a 5th. Okay, so that trade works. I'm okay with that. We get a 5th round, a 2nd round, and a 1st round. And keep in mind that we also have our comp picks. It's a 3rd round comp pick, a 4th round comp pick, and a 5th round comp pick, I believe. So that you're talking about getting two rounds picks here with the one that you already have. Then you're talking about getting another 5th round pick, which we actually don't have except for the comp pick. So then you'll end up with 2. You'll have 2 4th round picks with the comp pick. You'll have 2 3s. And with this trade, you would have 2 2s. So basically, we'll have 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, and 1 5. By making this trade, I think it's a great trade. We trade down, and we're still going to get somebody good here. So Micah Parsons is off the board. That would be somebody that I would aim for right about this area at 12, if he was still on the board, obviously. Farley's gone here at 12. So I think the best option that we can have here is we're still going to have to go corner, but I think you go with Jace Horn. I like this kid. He's 6'1". He's kind of long. His dad was a wide receiver in the NFL, so some pedigree there to go along with it. I think that you go ahead and grab Chase or Jace Horn. We need to fill in corner. Still a top corner in the draft. I mean, you would obviously want Patrick Surtain, but if we trade down, it's just most likely not going to happen at that point. So let's go ahead and draft him here. And then we'll go ahead and wait our turn. Now that we went ahead and addressed cornerback position in this so far in this particular draft, we've traded down. We've got some more picks. I really think that, let's see, so we have pick 43 and pick 36. So there's two positions that I would want to go with in the second round here. One of them is going to be the defensive line and safety. So you have a couple of options here. It looks like the safety from Oregon's off the board, and oh yeah, he just went off the board. So that's supposed to be the top safety in this particular draft. The guy's supposed to have a crazy IQ. Trayvon Moehrig, he is another top safety. I like this cat. This young cat reminds me of Ricky Williams back in the day. Dude hits hard. Guy's like a defensive lineman on wheels, man. So I think for this, we have to figure out what's going on in the defensive line here. And he is the top one on the board right now. And I think you're going to get a solid defensive lineman in Marvin Wilson. We do have some depth there, but I mean, really no good depth there, in my opinion, on the interior line. So I'm going to go ahead and take Marvin Wilson with the 36th pick, and then we'll go ahead and grab another one at 43. And here's where I think you address your safety position. So I think that if anything, you could probably salvage Xavier Woods. I know that a lot of people have had some issues with him over this past season, but I think he's definitely shown that he does have the ability to play up to par. And I think with more pieces on that defense, you could see him actually be a little bit better. Man, this one's a hard one for me. But I think if you keep Xavier, you got to go with more of the hard hitter, the guy that can play in the box. This guy's going to do it. He's another good pick right here. Some people consider him the best safety in the draft. He's a little low on the NFL mock drafts database board, but I'm going to go ahead and pick Beresford because I like him. Could have gone either way there, but I think you're getting a good pick either way. Kind of just depends on what you do with Xavier Woods. I mean, if you let all of them go, then maybe you get the Trayvon Moehrig and you try to go that route, and you could maybe get Colby Harvey-Peel later on, or one of these other ones, other top safeties here, and you could potentially throw that. Because see, they're all still here in round 3. I don't think Ford would have been here in round 3. But another thing that we really need is a linebacker. And I think right now, Jabril Cox is going to be a good linebacker, and I think a little bit more of a quiet linebacker is Pete Warner. But let's see, what can we pick up here in the third round? I mean, we could technically, at this point, the way that this is fell, we do need secondary help a lot. And at this point, if they're both available for you to pick, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and say let's just even get rid of Xavier Woods. Honestly, let's just go ahead and pick this kid. You got your box safety in Ford, and then you get your free safety here in Moehrig. Cowboys don't really ever pick safety, so we're just going to go ahead and sew this up for a while right here. possibly could get some more corner depth, but I think I think you're getting better value here. With this pick, maybe we can try to find another corner. Maybe you bring back Shido and Jordan Lewis, or um, the other cat. What's his name? Brown, I think. Maybe you bring him back. You still have Diggs, and maybe you bring back Awuzie or Lewis, and you let one go. There's some way to finagle keeping a cornerback or keeping one of the safeties and kind of drafting some pieces to fill in. I would say maybe try to keep your best one. I don't know if that's Xavier or Awuzie as far as what we have, or even maybe Lewis. But let's just go ahead and sew this up. So we'll go ahead and end that right there. And then another thing, this isn't the most sexy pick out there, but offensive tackle wouldn't hurt. Um, you don't really need wide receiver. Obviously, it's not a big need for us. You could go corner here again. You could go linebacker. Let's see. I think I'm going to go tackle. Let's see. Who do we want to get? I think Abraham Lucas is a quiet tackle, but I think he's going to be solid. So you get him in round 4. You could potentially go edge here and have another. Just check it out. See. I think you have some better value out of this versus Abrams. You know what? I'm just gonna stick to what I was going for. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a tackle here, and we'll go ahead and move on. So some things you have to think. I'm gonna go ahead and pause right here. So we're in round 4. We've already passed round 3. So at the end of round 3, let's come back up here and take a look. So even before we would have picked Abraham Lucas, you got to think right here. So we would have got another pick for the comp pick right here. So we would have been able to pick an offensive tackle and then another linebacker, an edge piece, kind of like what I would do now. And you could even go defensive line here if you wanted. Um, let's see. Kind of a couple things. I like this kid. He's real good. So if we could get him a little later, that would be cool. We kind of wouldn't mind another corner to fill in, and I think linebacker. So those kind of the two things. We could use more linebackers. At the end of the day, if we're picking later on, and we're getting these extras, because we're also going to get another comp pick at the end of the 4th here. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Um, I think you grab another linebacker and you sure up, because Leighton Vander Esch hasn't been that good, and neither has Jalen Smith. To be realistic, so if we could find some good linebackers later on in the draft, maybe like round 4 is kind of a good place to start looking for them uh, as well. That ends to 3rd, 4th range. If we can start filling in linebackers there, wouldn't hurt at all. So pick a linebacker there. I don't know how I'm getting all these solid defensive prospects that are just kind of falling to me, but if we get all these prospects in a draft and we can't have a better defense next year, then I don't know what's going on. I've only gone one corner so far in this draft. I don't know an incredible amount about all the rest of these corners, honestly, but let's see. We really don't need any more safeties. I mean, we got two solid safeties, honestly. And I don't know. I don't know much about this kid, but I think in the fifth round, this guy. I mean, he's played some solid competition. At Clemson, ACC, but still up there right now. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and grab an edge rusher right here and go ahead and just fill that in. And I mean, we're only in round five, so we still have our comp pick here, and then we still have the comp pick would have just happened. So I don't know why I didn't pause there, but whatever. So you got to think at the end of this round five right here, we would have also gotten another pick. So we would have been able to fill in something else that we would have need. I mean, maybe interior line at some point needs to be addressed as far as a backup, just in case someone gets injured. I know that some of them are maybe getting older. Some of our line, so to try to help them out as much as possible, maybe later in this particular draft, maybe I think we have enough talent at line to at least last us till next year, so that we can start picking up linemen. But if you're building around Dak, I think you could definitely get away from this year picking a bunch of defensive prospects and then um, just surrounding him, giving him that much more success. I can't believe this kid's still here in round six. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him to go with Wilson, and maybe Hill's out of a job next year. Um, we really don't have too much depth there, and honestly, those two guys can take two spots. All right, and then so I believe this is our last pick of the draft, and uh, it's kind of just take a flyer on somebody here and see. You know what? If we're going to let all of our corners and say, nah, I can't say all of them. If we're gonna pretty much let most of them go, we're gonna have to try to refill it with some kind of talent. This kid's pretty good. I like him coming out of Middle Tennessee. He has a chance certainly to be a good prospect. So I know I've picked a lot of safeties in this draft, but if we're gonna let them all go and just basically rebuild, this is the best way to do it, cheapest way to do it, best way to do it in the sense of it's the cheapest way to do it, which signing Dak would actually make this make sense as far as the best way to do it. Technically, the free agency is going to be the best way to do it. You sign somebody that you know what you're getting, so that's technically the best way to do it. All right, so that is going to be the draft where we're building around Dak, and they're going to get that deal done, and we got tons of defense pieces here. We really didn't need too much offense. I think we have plenty of offensive pieces this draft. If the Cowboys don't draft defensive players just because and just so that we can get bodies in there to see if somebody's going to be good, then I don't know what they're doing, because we really don't need that much offensive help, honestly. All right, so let's go ahead and restart the draft. Maybe. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and pick as the Cowboys once again. Everything's going to be the same, although this time we're just going to pretend like we're going to trade Dak and get some of those same picks that we got in that last mock draft there. So at this point, we've traded Dak, and let's say we got a second and a third, and maybe a first next year. So we'll not include this draft. But so we're on the clock. We have a couple of options to pick here at 5, but we're going quarterback because we traded Dak. So I think this kid is quietly going to be good in the NFL. I like this kid. He quietly moved up the board. To me, he's the third quarterback on my board. The first two on my board are already gone, in Lawrence and Fields, and that's a given. They're going to get picked there. I mean, you would have to give up more than the farm to probably steal one of those away, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Zach Wilson on this one, and we'll go ahead and see what options that we have here. Now, in this draft, keep in mind that I don't have the actual extra picks in here just because I can't physically trade players in here, so those picks aren't going to pop up, but we can kind of stop and take a look and see what options maybe would be on the table here. All right, so now we are at our second pick. At this point, I think that you are looking at corner and safety, out of all honesty. And since we didn't draft a corner in the first round, or let's say maybe we got a corner from the trade of trading Dak, or let's say maybe we did do a 2021, or I'm sorry, a 2021 draft pick, and maybe we got, I don't know who would trade in here. I mean, there's certainly some teams like the Patriots might be interested in Dak, so you could probably trade them. Maybe you got the 16th pick in this draft, and you go get a Jace Horn again, or something like that, or Sean Wade, and you pick them up in that spot. So even though we're not keeping Dak, you still fill in that corner. Doesn't directly reflect on my mock draft here, but you would definitely still be able to fill that in. And so we're kind of aiming for the same thing here. I'm going to say that we were able to get a corner with our hypothetical pick there. I'm still going to pick... Man, at this point, I only have two options. So at this point, I think we at least have a little bit more body at defensive line and might be able to find some more of those players in free agency that can help there. I'm going to go ahead and grab this kid. Again, maybe you assume that you keep Xavier Woods this time, or maybe you move Awuzie to safety, or maybe you keep him at corner, and he kind of helps you out at backup along with maybe a Jace Horn that you picked up, or maybe a trade where you got a corner, or maybe you traded for a safety. I think you would probably aim for draft picks at this point and then pick one of those. So maybe you were able to pick up Holland with an earlier pick, but I'm going to go ahead and grab Ford because I think that we need help more on the back end, so you get your corner and your safety with the trade. And then keep in mind also, we would have potentially two picks in the second round. So you're going to get another pick here. And I would assume that you're going to get a decent pick. We'll say just, kind of middle of the row here, or maybe around the Patriots, because potentially that's where it might go, or even the Bears. So these are two good options. So we'll say right here, around right here, you would be able to pick potentially another linebacker. We went safety, so you could go defensive line, and you could get this kid from Georgia. He's not going to get you sacks, but he's a run stuffer. He's going to clog up the lane. you could go there. I think right here at this pick, I think that's hard because there's a couple more good linebackers. I think you go ahead and grab this kid right here just because he's not going to be there, and he's a big guy, run stuffer. We got gashed all day this year on uh, run games, or all, just everybody ran all over us. Multiple runners in a game. We can go ahead and try to stop that here. And then, so that would be our 2 picks in that round. And then we'll go ahead and get our first of the third picks here. And I mean, he just quietly falls to me every time around here. And I think it's a pretty solid pick. So we can go ahead and grab Jabril. And then also keep in mind that this is where we have 2 picks as well, just because we also have the comp pick, the third round comp pick for Byron Jones. Um, so even though I'm on the clock here, you got to think at the end of round 3, and I believe the comp picks are actually tradable. So maybe you trade up and you grab Darius Stills and you add on to that uh, defensive line, and you get a couple guys in there that can actually hopefully do something for you. Um, let's see. So corner, I can't hate on this. Um, let's see. We do need a tackle and edge. All right. Man, at this point, I once again, I just don't know enough about these later end corners that I'm confident enough there. However, I know I'm taking 2 linebackers right here, and I know we have Jalen and Wolf Hunter, but they didn't show me nothing special last year, and I don't know if that was just because they were getting gashed all day. In fact, you know what? Um, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this kid. We're talking about being gashed all day. Maybe Wolf Hunter and Smith do, Jalen do a little better next year if we can actually stop the run, and they're not so worried about the run. I know LVE looked kind of stupid at one point in the year, looking one way and the run's going the other way. But he hopefully he'll get better. But we do need some depth there. You got some old cats there that can kind of um, be a mentor to some of the younger cats that are coming in. And then keep in mind, we would have a pick at the end of the fourth, so we would have another pick and that we could kind of, I would say maybe honestly Abraham Lucas right in here would make sense for us if that was us, if he was still on the board at that point. Um, I think at this point, Colby Harvey Peel came off, and then we would also get another comp pick in the 5th round as well, along with our first pick, which I believe we get we're way down here, I guess. We get the 170th pick. All right, so let's see. We got some linemen. Um, corner, we got some linebackers. Tyler Vrabel is probably the best guy left that I can see. I mean, maybe some of y'all know some better kids. Man, is everybody on the name Sills or Stills on West Virginia? Like, look at this. There you go. Stills, Sills. Anyway, I think there's like two more that were already drafted. Trying to keep track of all of them. Anyway, you could go inside offensive line, outside offensive line. I think Vrabel's going to be your best option for the sixth round. See if we can't get some help there. And we don't have any more comp picks, so we'll jump right into the seventh. And let's see. Once again, I think. Well, the young cat's not there this time. Usually the young cat's there for me on these, but might need another corner just to try to come in and help. Um, Johnson's at the top of the board here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab him. That way we can hopefully get some more depth. And you never know, maybe he turns into a 3 or maybe even the 4th guy on the depth chart, and he can actually help you out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my flyer in the 7th round on a corner, my Mr. Irrelevant, if you will. But that's going to be it for my 2 drafts. So I personally think that at this point, Dak should have been signed. He should have immediately had his contract done. Should have been done before Zeke's contract. And personally, the way I think that the Cowboys should have handled it, and we would have had a whole different season this year, is if you would have kept Byron Jones, if you would have kept Dak Prescott, and then you would have let Zeke either walk or maybe understand that he didn't deserve the $100 million contract. Um, I love Zeke, but we did have Tony Pollard, and to me, everything that I've seen from him, he's looked good, and I think maybe we could have skated by with him, or potentially at this draft, worst case scenario, we were looking for another running back instead of trying to find a corner, a quarterback problem, because now we're stuck in this scenario, right, where we pay Dak and we're out of money, basically, the cap room, and that sucks because Dak deserves that money. You know, he's definitely a top 10 quarterback, but you know, now that Jerry Jones has kind of let the cat out of the bag here, he's backed into a corner. So I think the best option, honestly, for the Cowboys moving forward is going to be the second draft scenario. Obviously, they're going to do this a lot better than me. I'm by no means a professional GM or anything like that, nor am I claiming to be, nor am I the GM for the Cowboys, obviously, or I wouldn't be sitting here. I wish that was my job, to sit here and do mock drafts all day, and then I could just go hit up Jerry Jones right there in North Dallas and let me do the draft for him. That'd be awesome. I'd love it. I'm a Cowboys fan. I live here in Dallas. I'm close to the training facility. It would be awesome to do that, but that's kind of a fan dream type thing. Not gonna happen. So guys, I'm not claiming to be a professional GM, nor am I saying that I have all the secrets, trades, or anything like that. This is just one guy's take that's a fan that has some knowledge of football, but I'm by no means the next Bill Belichick or anything like that, obviously, guys. But this is my mock draft. Like I said, I think that Jerry Jones kind of messed up the handling of Dak, and we kind of have to eat now, you know, what we grew. And unfortunately, that medicine is trading Dak and getting him out and saving the cap space. I think we've seen that, you know, young quarterbacks can come into this league with good teams around them, and they can do good, and then they can grow from there. We've seen that with the Lamar Jacksons. We've seen that with Russ. We've seen that with Watson. You could even say Josh Allen to a little extent. You know, Joe Burrow was lighting it up, obviously, before he got injured, even though he doesn't even have the best of the team. So I think it's, as long as you pick a good quarterback, I think you can at least do something. I know that a lot of you guys are probably gonna disagree or hate me for wanting to get rid of Dak, but I don't want to get rid of Dak, but I think it's going to be the most feasible with the cap space coming down and the corner that Jerry Jones has backed himself into. If you're talking to me before he starts handing out the contracts like Oprah, Jalen Smith, I think he got overpaid. Kid deserves it. Credible story, but he got overpaid. I think DeMarcus Lawrence got overpaid a little bit. Honestly, at this point, like he just hasn't lived up to that contract. But and then obviously, Zeke has been paid a little bit. I think you should have got Lawrence obviously done. I think you should have got Byron Jones done, then Dak. Then we could have worried about Zeke. I think we could have lived with Tony Pollard, especially with the way that the league's moving forward. But go ahead and let me know in the comments what you guys think. Go ahead and give me a like, or maybe if you just hate me or you hate my ideas, I guess you can give me the thumbs down. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you subscribe. Then I can go ahead and get you some more content, and hopefully we'll be putting out videos. Until then, take it easy, guys.